Hi, everybody. Mention the little word God and misunderstanding may be settled between the continental and diasporic Africans. We don't arrive to the meaning of these words from the same linguistic background. There is therefore a need of a common base of understanding that will unite us in the same perception of the notion of the supreme being.
Welcome to the channel Dialogue of Dr. Lialuka. To begin, please subscribe and tick the notification bell in order not to miss our videos. Thank you for joining.
As a continental Congo, the first languages I was exposed to were Congo and Lingala, two African languages. It is through these languages that the notion of the supreme being was introduced to me. A Congo proverb says, Tata e mama nzambi van toto. Dad and mom are the divine being here on earth. This led us to conceive the supreme being first as a powerful father and mother perched in the sky. But later, the concept was refined as to allude to a never-present being caring for us in the invisible. This being is named Zambi Ampungu Tulendo. Like all the kids of my generation, I was acquainted to a third language, which is French, when I went to school. There, I encountered the Western word for supreme being, the word God. How do you think the teacher introduced this notion? It was easier for him to use my traditional linguistic background. Thus, God was explained to me as the great invisible parent that we call Nzambi. Even when later this God was addressed by the Christian as a father, this didn't lead to confusion, as the word father in continental Africa doesn't necessarily refer to a male person. The sister of one's father is a female father, Tata Nkento. The brother of one's mother is a male mother, Ngudi Ankazi. Moreover, the human being, whatever be his gender, is considered to be male and female. The left part is called female, and the right part of the body is called male. Thus, it is not always easy for us continental Africans to learn that things don't appear to our diasporic brother and sister in the same way. mostly those who are in USA. The notion of God reaches them from the Anglo-Saxon linguistic background. God sounds to their ears merely as a white-birded father perched on the sky. It is clear that in this context, the mention of the word God by a continental Africa may sound awkward to the diasporic blacks. It can even be deemed to be anti-African, anti-African. African traditional religion, being in reality an exact science. The concept of the supreme being can be seized independently of one's linguistic background, thanks to the Kemetic cosmological argument. These arguments can be introduced this way. The temporal universe in which we are is an individual entity because it is an aggregate of individual entities. Therefore, it must be the effect of an individual cause. The individual nature of this cause, this creator, begs the existence of other similar beings that might be effective or potential. They might not yet created their universe. That doesn't matter. Here we take an hypothesis. The hypothesis is that every creation exists in its creator. If we take an entity which includes all the effective and potential creator within the frame of the hypothesis that creation exists in its creator, this later being is the greatest possible one, because every creation you will imagine will exist in its creator, and the creator will be in that being, because that being includes all the effective and potential creators. Therefore, that being, that greatest possible being, is the supreme being. Thus, the supreme being is indivisible and immutable. If he were not, then there might be a principle of his mutability and divisibility, and that principle must be greater than God, than the supreme being, which is impossible because the supreme being is the greatest possible being. The supreme being must be also transcendent. We know by transcendence that he must be above everything. But here we add another dimension. By transcendence, we mean that he doesn't know evil. Within the frame of his absolute indivisibility, in the supreme being, to know and to be are the same thing. If God knew evil, he'll be infinitely bad and infinitely good, which is impossible. So God doesn't know evil. And God is the sole reality. Because if there were another reality outside of God, that reality added to God would result in an entity greater than the supreme being, which is also impossible. So supreme being is the only reality. All reality are in God. Outside of God, there is nothing real. This is a provable fact reached through deduction. So it is truth because it is reached through true premises. And then the question is, where does it exist our temporal universe in relation to the Supreme Being. It cannot be within Him. Otherwise, at the moment of creation, something in the Supreme Being will be added. He will change. While we know that God is absolutely immutable, it cannot be also outside of God. Otherwise, added to outside of the Supreme Being, otherwise added to Him, it will result in an entity greater than the Supreme Being. Therefore, the answer is our temporal universe is in the temporal consciousness of the Creator. The visible is only a limited manifestation of the invisible. Everything good in the temporal universe is only a manifestation of a celestial reality. This argument can be extended as to include all the essential doctrine of a salvational religion. And through comparative study, it can be shown to be congruent with the religion of ancient Egypt, the religion of Sumer, the Congo religion, Congo, and even with early Christianity. Therefore, we say African traditional religion is in reality an exact science. From these arguments, we learn that the Most High is the invisible, greatest possible being who includes all reality. Everything good in the earth is his limited manifestation. Therefore, he is male and female both. All lower divinities, from the creator to the ancestor, are only his manifestation. Therefore, whether we call him God or Zabi or Mungu or Chuku, etc., this scientific understanding stands and unites all the black people. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share. More on this subject can be found on my books available at Amazon.